So I had an issue with my Broadway Limited B6 060 where the smoke unit was making a lot of noise when it was running. It sounded like the fan was hitting something or it was vibrating. So I contacted the Broadway Limited Parts Department about that, and they sent me a new smoke unit that I gotta figure out how to install. So I figured I'd show how this engine gets disassembled and how this new smoke unit gets put in. So this is the new smoke unit that Broadway Limited sent me. And this looks like some kind of connector board. Oh, they didn't send any instructions, so we'll have to figure it out as we go. The first thing I'm going to do is separate the tender and the engine so that I'm not in danger of breaking the tether between them. Let's see if I can get this off with tweezers. Just trying to pry it up without damaging it. These connectors are always a pain. And I've not found a great way to get them disassembled besides just working it little by little, because otherwise you run the risk of damaging the wires or damaging the connector body. But if you work at it a little bit at a time, eventually it comes out. There we go. Okay, so now we'll put the tender aside and we'll figure out how to take the shell off the engine. So the smoke unit's here, just under the smokestack. And I think the smoke box front just pops out. So there's the smoke unit. And I'm not sure if that's attached to something in there or if we can just pull that out. So we'll see if it moves. I know there's got to be wires to it, so I'm kind of expecting to have to take the shell off. Yeah. Okay. Put this back without pinching the wires. So it looks like the shell. The shell's got to come off probably with this screw right between the cylinders, and then usually there's something on the back side. Like I see a couple screws right here, one here, another one on the other side. So we'll try that first and see if that works. Okay, there's the front screw. And we'll see if these help. Okay, I can feel the shell loosen up, so I think we got it. I just got to make sure that none of the piping or other details are caught. All right. That's an interesting setup. if you look here, there's a board right on top of the gearbox. And you've got 8 of these little spring contacts. I don't know if you can see, but these little plungers are on springs. That is clever. Then on the smoke box side, there's a board with contacts for those springs, those spring contacts, and that's what powers the smoke unit. Interesting. So I see this is screwed to the boiler here. So start by taking that off. It looks like this also powers the cab light. As you can see the wire going back here into the cab, and there's the LED in the cab roof. So I'll be careful of that and make sure that I don't mess that up. Actually, before I mess with that board, I see there's a screw here and then 2 screws here. And I wonder if those correspond to mounting the smoke unit. I'm gonna try it. I want to see if taking these screws out is gonna let me slip the smoke unit off out of the smoke box front. And if it doesn't work, all we gotta do is put the screws back in. Okay, so now that those are out, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can just push this. Yeah, it's definitely loose. I wonder if there's a little funnel there under the stack. I just want to make sure it's not catching on something. Okay, got a little flashlight to try to see down in here and basically figure out what's holding that smoke unit in place. Definitely looks like there's a little funnel or something, that like a gasket that connects up to the stack. And I wonder if that's it. That funnel though does have, or the insert in the stack does have a slot. Almost like you could unscrew it or something. Let's try. I think it's loose. There we go. So see, it's a ring with a slot in it. Or we'll see if that helps the, oh, there we go. Okay, so the smoke unit slides out pretty easily now. And there we go. There's the old smoke unit. This is the electrical connector that hooked up with the board that I left inside the boiler. And comparing this with the new smoke unit, I need to transfer this little funnel over to the new one. Okay. And put that over here. This is pretty oily, so I'm just going to wipe this off so it doesn't get too messy. The new smoke unit has a screw already in here, so I'll take that out. Then I'll put the little adapter piece in here. All right, so that's all screwed down. Not really sure what this piece is. This also came from the parts department. And this doesn't match up here. And I don't see it as part of the chassis either. So I'm just going to leave this off and we'll test out the new smoke unit without replacing this. It seems like this is just a circuit board. I don't know how this is related to the new smoke unit. You know, something I noticed is that the mounting screws, or the mounting screw holes on this new smoke unit, they're not in the same place. Well, they are in the same place as the old one, but there's this bracket. So we need to transfer this mounting bracket over. That's one reason why there was that space in the bottom of the smoke box that I didn't notice before. Okay, so we'll tighten these up and then we'll put it back in. Okay, again, I gotta make sure that electrical connector is seated. All right. And now you don't see that space under the smoke unit, and the holes for the mounting screws line up right there. So I'll put those screws back in now. Okay, now I'll put that retaining ring back in the smokestack. I don't know if you can see it, but it's seated all the way down the bottom of the smokestack. And it basically connects the funnel that's on the top of the smoke unit with the bottom of the smokestack. Okay, and then we can tuck the headlight wires back in. Just make sure the headlight is centered, kind of in line with the smokestack, and then press that front plate back in. Okay, now that the shell's pretty much back together, we'll put it back on the chassis. Just gotta make sure all the piping lines up, that we're not pinching anything. And we'll put the screws back in. Okay, tighten them up so they're firm. All right, I think that should do it. So we'll hook the tender back up and we can try it out. Okay, I've put a few drops of smoke fluid into the new smoke unit, and we'll see if it works. It's definitely quieter than the old one. See if I can unclog the smokestack. There we go. Yeah, I just blew into the smokestack. And that cleared up whatever bubble was in there. It looks like it works fine. All right, looks like that smoke unit replacement works great.